Today we're going to talk about winning a conference championship in college, which for a lot of players, athletes, coaches, that is the goal when you come to a college team, whether that's football, soccer, baseball, basketball, whatever sport that you play. I was a college soccer player at Lake Forest College, a Division III school in Illinois. I had the amazing opportunity to win a conference championship in my senior season and get an automatic qualifier to the NCAA tournament, which is what a lot of teams are striving for, right? Because college is a very competitive game, right? It's a very competitive level, and most teams are probably not going to be realistically striving for a national championship. That was the case at my school, right? Our goal was always win conference tournament, get to the NCAA tournament, see what we can do, right? Because you never know what happens, but you have to get there first. And winning that conference championship is a special thing because, as I will talk about, it does not come around every year. No matter how good your team is, if you slip up on a day, if you have one or two bad games, it can be taken away from you, and another season will come and go. So I want to get into my experience of winning a conference championship because I think that it's gonna be the goal for a lot of athletes in college, is winning a conference championship. And it takes a lot of hard work. It's a really hard thing to do, but the reward of succeeding and getting through that it's the best. Winning the conference tournament championship on our home field my senior season has been the best day of my life so far. That moment of all those years of waiting for it to finally come and win it was fantastic, right? So I'll break down college this season in general, right? So you play for a lot of schools. For my school, you play in a conference. There's conferences all over across the country for Division 1, 2, 3, NAIA. There's probably 8 to 12 teams in a conference with a conference tournament at the end. And whoever wins that conference tournament gets that conference's automatic qualifier to the NCAA tournament. There are some at-large bids too where the NCAA will pick certain teams to get into the NCAA tournament, but those are very hard to come by. You have to be a top team, probably nationally ranked in the top 25. If you're a soccer team playing 18 regular season games, you probably need 13 or 14 wins. Some wins against other top 25 teams. You need a good strength of schedule. And in the conference tournament, you probably need to do well. Even if you lose in the final, maybe the semifinal, but you have to have a very, very good season. And for Division III, there were 43 automatic qualifiers last year, and we were one of them. There were 21 at-large bids out of the other 450 teams that there are in Division III soccer, which is a very few amount, right? So lots of teams that want to make the NCAA tournament, they're going to get it through the automatic qualifier from their conference, right? So now let's get into the season, what it looks like for a college athlete. Most of the times you're going to have a non-conference part and a conference part. So the non-conference part is where you're playing other teams probably nearby that these games, they count toward your record, obviously, but they're not in conference, so it doesn't count toward your conference record. So at my school, we always looked at it as non-conference is practice for conference, because non-conference really doesn't matter because we are not 99% chance we're not going to get an at-large bid. So if we lose some non-conference games, it doesn't really matter. We just have to keep improving, working on things, trying new things out to get ready for conference, to put our best foot forward and just go, right? So my team, we were 1-6-1 last year, and we had a good team, NCAA tournament team, and non-conference. But we were confident because of the strength of schedule we had. We had a very hard schedule with about 5 or 6 NCAA tournament teams from last year and from this past season in 2022. And we were very confident that we would do well in conference because our conference, let's be honest, the Midwest Conference for soccer, there's not too many strong teams in it. There's probably us and 2 other very good teams, but the rest of them, there's a drop-off in the level. So we get to conference. The goal is win conference. It's my final season, right? We came up short my freshman year, came up short my sophomore year. My third year, my junior year, technically COVID was a thing, but we didn't even make the conference tournament, which was very, very embarrassing. As a school that we don't make the conference tournament, we had made it the past 10 years, right? So it's my senior year. I'm a captain. It's my last. I'm a key player on our team, but it's my last chance to make the NCAA tournament, to win a conference tournament, to have that feeling of becoming a champion in college, and trying to do it on my home field too. So in my conference, the conference tournament is 4 teams, the top 4 teams in the regular season playing the conference tournament. The team that wins regular season conference hosts the conference tournament. So I know other conferences do it where it's like the highest seed will host, and then that continues until the final. But in my conference, because of the location of the schools, it's a very, very spread out conference. They do the tournament in 2 days. Friday are the 2 semifinal games, and Saturday is the final. So it's quick turnaround, which sucks, unfortunately, because you play a full 90 Friday, and then you're probably going to play full 90 Saturday if you win. So, but you have to be ready for that, right? It's nothing you can do about it. And we always knew that. I've been to the conference tournament before, so I know what it's like, and that was our goal. Get to the conference tournament, but of course we want to win conference. We want to win the conference tournament, right? So we get into our conference season, and for some reason our schedule worked out where we had the kind of easier part of the teams first. The first 5 games, I would say, were easier teams in our conference, whereas games 6, 7, and 8 were the 3 best teams from 2021, the top 3 finishers in that season. So we knew, based on previous results, we knew we had to take care of business, in those first 5 games, have a great record going into those last 3 games, and hopefully we can pull out with a regular season conference championship and host a tournament at our school and then win the tournament. So we started our conference. We win our first game against a team that we should beat. We tie the second game at home against a team that we hadn't tied or lost in a long time, which was tough, right? And there's going to be ups and downs, I'm telling you. Like, you might think, yeah, we can go 8-0 conference, but if you don't show up on the day ready to play in that game, if you overlook a team, they can come back and bite you in the ass. And that's what Ripon did to us. We weren't ready. I mean, I think we had a decent game. We definitely controlled it. We had tons of chances, but we couldn't score, and we didn't get the win. And that meant already we didn't control our own destiny. We had to rely on other teams to make mistakes so that we could win conference. And that's not a good place to be in, right? So then we win our third game. So we're 2-0-1 or 2-1-0, whatever. I always forget. I think win-loss tie. So 2-0-1. Our fourth game is probably against arguably the worst team in our conference, and we come out and we lose on the road 2-1 to a team we hadn't lost to in 10 years, which was, I thought our season was over at that point, I can't lie. Winning regular season conference was out of the picture at that point, and at that point it was really hard to see a positive future, because if we can't beat arguably the worst team in our conference, how are we going to be the best, you know? And yeah, it sucked. It really did. I was very emotional after that game, because we dominated the first half. We were up 1-0. They were not a threat at all. But the second half, we came out nervous, complacent, and we gave up 2 dumb goals. We gave up a dumb PK because we weren't disciplined, and it came back to bite us. And again, like I said, you can be the best team. We were the best team. We had the best players. But if you don't come out on the day and put the performance in, anything can happen. And it happened that day to us. We got upset. Huge upset, right? And it set us back a lot. And we were on thin ice at this point, right? And in conference, a big thing to remember is you have to do it on the day, and the result is the main thing. In non-conference, I don't care. I obviously want to win, but I don't care as much about the result as much as, are we getting better? Are we getting ready for conference? But in conference, I don't care if we play terrible and win, because we need to win. The results matter. And unfortunately, against Beloit that day, we were terrible, and we didn't grind out the win, and we took a loss, and now we were very set back, to the point where it's like, are we even going to make the conference tournament? Because we haven't even played the hard teams yet. We haven't even played the best teams from last year that are still very good teams, you know? We have a pivotal game on the road a few days later. We played bad for the whole first half, early on in the second half, and then we come back, score 2 goals in 2 minutes, grind out a 2-1 win, and that kind of flipped our season right there. So we're 3-1-1. We basically needed one more win to get locked into the conference tournament. But at this point for me, winning the regular season and hosting the tournament was kind of out of the picture because another school, Grinnell, I think they were 5-0-0 or had one tie maybe, and we had a loss and a tie already, and we had two. I think we were in fourth at that point, so it's like we weren't even close to first, right? But at that point, it was like, again, the conference tournament is the most important thing. Winning that, you get to the NCAA tournament. You get to try to go deep, make a deep run in the NCAA tournament, and really make history at our school. But things started to turn around, and we started to get help from other teams that were losing. But we still had another slip-up. We played another school the week later, Cornell. I think we had a very good game, but we couldn't score. And we tied again. So we're 3-1-2 with 2 games left against the 2 hardest teams. Our chances to win conference, I thought, were completely done. And our chance to make the tournament, it's like, look, we have to win a game. And if we don't beat one of these 2 good teams, we're going home. And we're not making the tournament again, which at our school is very, very embarrassing and disappointing. But we turn around. Knox is one of those really good teams that we played the week after that tie. We win 1-0, hadn't beaten them in 7 years, solidified our spot in the conference tournament. But here's where the magic happens. Grinnell, the first place team, had lost 2 games in a row against teams they should have beaten. And now it was going to come down to us versus Grinnell on their field, the last conference game of the season. If we win, we win the championship. If they tie or win, they win the championship. 1 game to decide who hosts the tournament, who gets the regular season championship. We go to Grinnell, have our best game of the year, win 2-0. Absolute insane performance. We were locked in that day. And again, like I said, results matter. And being ready matters. Being locked into a T matters. And if you're not, teams will come back and bite you. And we were so locked in, and I think we came out and smacked them right in the mouth and showed that we were the best team in this conference. We win regular season conference, which is a goal that I had always had. We hadn't done it in 6 years. But again, the main thing is the conference tournament. No one cares about the regular season. It only decides what the seeds are, who you play in the first round, and who hosts. So we get to host, which I think is a big advantage. You get to play at home. The whole tournament's in Lake Forest. We don't have to travel. We got our fans, our students, our field, all this stuff, right? Our locker room, which is fantastic. But conference tournament is another animal, right? So we get there, and I'm the captain. I'm a senior. I'm the oldest player on the team. And I was so nervous for the first game against Knox because I knew how good they were. And I knew that regular season, if you lose a game, you always have another one. But in the conference tournament, it's playoff soccer now. If you lose, season's over. And in this case, my college career would be over. 1 game, and it could just be over. And so, I think I was nervous. I think my energy got passed on to other people, unfortunately, and it was my fault because I should have been confident and I should have led our team in the right way. But again, I was nervous, and I'll completely admit it, and it was really hard because that whole week before the tournament, I was just nonstop thinking about what if we win, but what if we lose, and what if we lose in the first round, and what if we're not playing even in the final on our own field and 2 other teams are, and what if this is my last game? And it was a lot for sure, and the night before was very, very stressful. The morning before we kicked off was very, very stressful, but we kick off. Again, nervous, right? Very nervous. We come out, play horrible. First half, horrible. Get scored on, don't look like a threat. Because, again, if you play nervous, that means you play scared. When you play scared, that means you think a lot. And when you think a lot, you don't play good. That's how it is for me. I think that's how it is for a lot of other players. When you don't think a lot and when you're just in the flow, when you're in a flow state, you're going to play your best soccer possible. But none of us were in a flow state. We were overthinking, and it showed on the field. We turned the ball over too much. We were not dangerous going forward. We looked shaky in the back at a lot of points, and it showed for sure. So halftime, we needed to make adjustments, but the adjustments were in our heads. It was like, well, listen, we have to believe in ourselves. We've already beaten this team this year. We won. We are the number one seed for a reason. We're at home playing this game, not in Grinnell or Knox, for a reason. And we come out and start playing better, but we get scored on it again. We're down 2-0 with 30 minutes left. We get a goal back with 15, and that's when everything started to change. We started to play a lot better, but a challenge happened, and we got a red card. And now we're down 2-1 with 10 men. They scored 30 seconds later to go up 3-1. And that was a very hard moment for me because most people, I think everybody had written us off. We're down 3-1 with 10 minutes left. We have 10 players. And the chance of coming back from that is damn near nothing. I bet people on the team thought we were done too. I wouldn't be surprised at all. The chances of that happening are so low. But for me, I knew that this was probably my last 10 minutes of my college career. I had put in so much work to get to this spot. I'd gone through so many struggles of being on the bench, watching us lose in previous seasons when I wasn't even playing, being in the conference tournament but not playing and sitting on the bench and watching us lose. Listen, I have 10 more minutes of this amazing experience where we're home hosting the conference tournament. My family's here. We have a bunch of fans here, like way more fans than we'd ever had at a game that I played at my school. You give everything because this is the last time you're probably going to play for this team. Everybody's here. Your family's here. You're the leader. You give everything that you have. You have no regrets about your effort. Yeah, sure, you can have regrets about losing, but about your effort, there's no regrets. You give everything. So that's what I did. That's what I did. Unfortunately, we get another red card with 2 minutes left on just a loss of control for a second from one of our players, which it happens. We were all very frustrated, right? But the thing that didn't change for me, again, I was resigned to the fact we were probably going to lose, but you give full effort because now this is probably your last game. There's 45 seconds left, and we get a goal back. A little bit of hope comes back into us, into I think everybody that was at the game. We probably knew we had maybe one more chance if we could get a corner or just get the ball somehow in the box, get a shot off, maybe we get a goal, maybe like a tiny chance. But again, a team like that should have been able to control this end of the game. I mean, they're 11v9. All they should have do is just played rondos around us. But they didn't. And I think they showed a loss of composure, control. They were not locked in. And we capitalized, and we score with 15 seconds left again because we got a long throw in the box, comes to one of our players. He takes a shot and scores it. The emotions right there were insane because I had been resigned to the fact that the season's over, but now it's like, okay, 20 more minutes. It's tied. So let's go to overtime and we'll see what happens, right? So the goal for us was that obviously we're down 2 players. We're just going to defend as hard as we can and just try to get to PKs because, we're probably not going to even get a chance because we're not going to try to keep the ball. We're just going to clear it, waste time, defend, that's it. But we cannot let them score because if they score, this game is over because I don't think they're going to let us score again with 9 men. We play the first 10. It's a stalemate. Second half of the overtime, we have a miraculous 50-yard goal off a great decision by our player to recognize the keeper's fault of the guy was sleeping, literally. I mean, he was standing 30 yards outside of the goal because he thought that we were never going to get the ball down there. He was not locked in. He was just kind of staring, watching, but he wasn't paying attention to his own role. And our player saw that he was just sitting out there too high the whole time. Got one chance, took advantage of it. We go on to win 4-3. And the craziest game that I've ever seen or been a part of. I've never seen a game like that, even on TV, and I'm a huge sports fan. I've never seen anything like that. Never been any part. And never will be a part of anything like that again in my life. Absolutely, for sure. So we pull off this insane comeback, right? Absolutely crazy. We're celebrating everything, but about 5 minutes after we get back into the locker room, not even that, a few minutes after we get back into the locker room, I'm like, listen, and I knew that this is just the first step, guys. Like, this isn't the championship. This is just the semifinal, you know? Like, yes, this was amazing, but we have a whole nother game tomorrow that's 10 times bigger, because this one is, we win, we're going to NCAA tournament. We lose, and this game doesn't even matter that we just played, because we're going to be runners up. Yeah, we had a great comeback, but we're runners up in a conference tournament that we hosted, right? And I just said the message to the team, like, look at what we did today. We can believe in ourselves. And I think that really changed everything. I completely believed that we were going to win that final because of what we had done to Grinnell the first time, and because of what we had done in that game against Knox that day. That semifinal was insane. Even though we were missing three starting defenders from our back line, even though I had played 110 minutes, I knew I was going to be able to give a full 90, and I was going to be fine. I was going to come out and just try to play the best game of my life, because this exact moment of getting to the conference championship final at home was something I had dreamed of for years, and especially to be a starter, to be a captain, to be an impactful key player on our team was something that I had worked for years, dreamed of for years, and it was finally coming to fruition on this day, on November 5th of 2022. I had to just take advantage of the opportunity, right? Because this is the last chance. I'm a senior. If we lose, my career's over, and if we win, I get to say I'm a conference champion. Went to the NCAA tournament, won a championship on our home field in front of tons and tons of people. This is it, right? So we play the final. We're missing some people. We're tired. Doesn't matter, though. Doesn't matter. We come out. I ended up scoring the first goal, which was a really special moment for me. Hadn't scored all year. Got a chance to take a PK, stepped up, put it in, confident, because we had been practicing for weeks. I basically made everyone in practice. I think I missed 1 in 10 tries, and honestly, it was because they knew where I was going to go, because I went the same way every time, but the Grinnell keeper didn't know where I was going. Picked my spot, put it in. Great. Up 1-0. We give up a goal, and that was with 15 minutes left in the first half. We give up a goal with 10 minutes left. But there was a crazy, crazy wind that day. 40 miles an hour, 50 miles an hour wind, like going left to right on the field. And we decided if we won the coin toss, we were going to take the bad side first. So we won the coin toss and took the bad side. So that in the second half, we knew that if we were winning or if we were tied, that the game was going to be ours, because they were not going to be able to score on us in this win and not be able to play in this win, because it just affected the game so much. So we go in the half, we're tied, but we were like, listen, we have the win. It's going to come. The goal is going to come. We're going to win this game. And sure enough, we battled out in the second half. We were definitely the better team. And we get a goal with 22 seconds left to win the conference tournament at home. The final few seconds when the clock was going down, we had a throw in, and I started kind of jumping around. I fell to my knees on the 50-yard line, and the final whistle blew, and I just, threw my hands up in the sky. And I was just like, I actually did this. We actually did this. You know, I'd been dreaming about it for years, and I'd lay in bed at night thinking about this moment, what it would be like to win a conference championship at home. What would it be like to score in the final when I'm a CDM. I'm not a goal scorer. I don't attack that much ever. And what would it like to be to win it as a captain, you know, as someone that had been there for a long time and had seen the team fail, had seen myself fail over and over and over again, but never quit and just keep going. I never quit on myself, on my team. And because I knew that this moment would be worth it all the bullshit that I went through, all the struggles, this moment of winning the conference tournament and getting to the NCAA tournament would be worth everything. And it was, looking back now. It's been about 7 months since it happened. It was November and it's May now. About 7 months, and it's been amazing just knowing the feeling that all that work that you put in for years during COVID, when I had college seasons canceled, when I come back to college, I break my ankle in my return season where I'm actually a starter now and I'm actually like an impactful player, and we have a horrible team season where we win 4 games. I break my ankle, thought my career was over, didn't know if I was going to graduate or come back. To go through all that stuff, and then 2022, I grinded the whole year to come back and to finally cap it all off with winning a conference championship. It means everything in the world. And I think the big lesson is that if you're an athlete and you either want to play in college or you do play in college right now, the team that you're on is probably striving for a conference tournament championship to get that NCAA tournament bid, right? Because that's where the magic is, right? Regular season championship doesn't mean as much. It's still really special, but again, the conference tournament is where you make it through. You get to the NCAA tournament, the big dance, right? Which my team hadn't been to the NCAA tournament in 5 years. We hadn't won the MWC double in 10 years. We've only been to the NCAA tournament 8 times in 50 years. So it says a lot about how special the team was, and the moment was that the moments that we had that entire weekend of the conference tournament this past season. So I don't care what level you play at. If you're a Division I athlete, Division III, whatever it is, like, yeah, it's not the Super Bowl, it's not the World Cup, but I promise you, if you don't take it seriously, other teams will that you play against, and they will absolutely love the moment when they win and take the championship from you if you and your team don't care. But if you're willing to buy in completely to being disciplined and working hard and trying to become a better player, a better teammate, and if your team is bought into the goal of, listen, all the individual stuff doesn't matter. It's all about winning. It's all about winning the conference championship at the end of the season. Going through struggles as a team, losing games, playing bad, but getting through it, getting better, and finally ending up becoming a champion, it's worth everything. It teaches you so much, and it is worth every ounce. It was worth every training session that I did for years before winning this. It was worth breaking my ankle. It was worth just all the struggles that I've been through since high school, since I was younger, getting cut from teams or not being accepted on the teams, not winning a state championship in high school when we were close, not winning conference tournaments when I was a freshman and a sophomore. It was all worth it. It made the moment even that much sweeter. And I just recommend, like, if you're an athlete in college, like this, it will mean everything to you if you put everything into it. Like, I couldn't say more about it. I mean, it was like that day was like has been like the greatest day of my life so far because of a feeling of accomplishment of all the stuff I went through to get there, and something that I've been working for years. It actually came true. That feeling right there, where you work for something so hard, and you just continuously grind and you finally accomplish it, it's the best feeling in the world. It literally is, because you earned it. It wasn't given to you. When it's given to you, it doesn't really matter. But when you absolutely earn it through like hard work, through stress and failure, it just means so much more. We're going to wrap it up there. Go get your guys' conference championships. Work as hard as you can. Do everything possible. And go get your ring.